Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Disaster Report 4. This game was developed by Grenzella, and published by NIS America, or NIS America, and will be released on April 7th of 2020 for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. Now, first, before I get into this game, it does have kind of an ironic story that goes along with this. This actually is not a PlayStation 4 game. This was originally meant to be released all the way back on the PlayStation 3 system, but due to productions that were stopped and halted due to the 2011 earthquakes and tsunamis, they canceled this title. And then later on, the guy bought the rights to it and started his development group as Grayzilla and decided to come out with this title, starting it over from scratch. Now, this game is considered an action-adventure game where your main goal is to try to explore and escape a destroyed city through all kinds of bad aftershocks, tremors, and buildings collapsing. Now, as you go through, it does have a couple unique differences compared to the previous Disaster Report games, including the fact of what I call escape routes, where after certain buildings will be destroyed and fall down, it will open up a new route that will allow you to progress farther into the game. Now, it also introduces something known as a cleanliness meter, which means the more dirt you get on your guy and the more grit and grime, the more stress that they have. But don't worry, you can take care of this by cleaning up in the bathroom by taking a piss. Yes, I'm actually not kidding. Yeah, that's how you get your stress level down, by cleaning up, is by urinating. After all, this is a very, very Japanese game, and it shows. Now, as you start off the game, you are given the option of creating a customizable character of either a male or a female character. And while you get some decent options, there's nothing that really allows you to create a really special looking character. They're all going to be rather ho-hum and generic, your typical Joe Schmo, so to say. And as you go through playing the game, you will unlock over 100 different clothing items for your character to wear. So if you're into a game where the collector items is getting new clothes for your character, this might be right up your alley. Now, originally this was supposed to have, I think, a first-person or a 3D mode to it, but they had scrapped that. And this version has a PlayStation VR version in it. It has PlayStation VR support with Move controller support. But I would have to say it's not really implemented that well. When you're playing normally, you're in a third-person perspective, seeing over the shoulder of your character. And when you're in the VR mode, you're in first person. And it just doesn't really work that well for this title. I can actually say I'm not impressed with how they actually did it. Now, the other thing I've got to point out is I've played the other Disaster Report games, and they were okay for what they were, especially for their time. But for this day and age, you've got to kind of do something more with your title to make it really stand out and warrant the price that you put on it. And the main flaw with this title, hands down, is what I'm going to say a lack of event trigger indicators. Now, what I mean by that is in order to progress through this game, you have to get this special unknown trigger to set off. It could be anything from talking to a person, giving an item to a person, going to a certain area, or doing some very mundane, convoluted story quest in order to trigger the next unknown trigger to allow you to progress farther into the game. Now, what I mean by that is early on you'll come across the guy that'll ask you where his friend is, and then you're given a bunch of options to send him on his way. And it's not until later that you even notice anything of, it's like, what was the point of that? And there doesn't seem to be a point, but it is an unknown trigger that affects the game in some really weird way. And they give you these options to actually say certain things to people. You can be nice or you can be mean. But I swear it doesn't make a damn bit of difference of what you pick when you say something to somebody, because they all react in the same way. And it just seems like a big disappointment of a missed option that they went this route with giving you these options that really don't seem to pan out. Now, the other thing about the mission structure, like I was saying, is there's like this part where you can't progress any farther, and you're like, what's going on here? And then you find out there's a guy holed up in a bathroom of a convenience store who needs toilet paper. Yeah, toilet paper. Kind of ironic to say that, but yeah, the guy needs toilet paper, and so your job to fulfill this mission is to get the man toilet paper. And you think, well, I'll just go grab a roll. No. You got to get a job at the convenience store in order to get the toilet paper to give the guy, just to find out, oh, he didn't really need the toilet paper in the first place. But because you did that, that's what the trigger was, and it sets off the next event that allows you to progress farther into the game, which is really stupid. There's no way of knowing what the hell to do to progress this story any farther. And the other thing that really bothers me about this game is the very odd cartoony characters that don't seem to fit the situation at hand. Now, keep in mind, there was this earthquake. Big giant earthquake, destroyed most of the city, and there's still aftershocks and tremors that are causing massive buildings to collapse, cars to crush people and stuff like that. And nobody seems upset by this. Now, I can understand some of them would be in shock. They're all taking pictures with their cell phones and hanging out and talking. But none of the people react like they should in this game to anything that's going on. You'll see a big building that'll crush people, and you'll hear people screaming. But other than that, you don't see anybody upset. You don't see people over there crying or, oh my God. Because there's this one part where there's these people that look like they're dancing, because that's what you do. In the middle of a natural disaster, you stay outside and you dance. Well, naturally, they're dancing, and the road collapses, and they all get killed. And you see all these dead bodies of all the people everywhere. And nobody reacts any different to it. They're like, oh, dead bodies. Oh, well. And it just takes you out of the moment. That's the problem with this title. It never evolves from what the original disaster reports actually did. It is a little bit too true to the original creator's vision in terms of it doesn't try anything new. They add some new things to it, like the dirt meter and stuff, but other than that, this game is so disappointing because it's like, oh no, there is another earthquake. This building has collapsed. What shall we do? And the writing is terrible too. I mean, honestly, the writing is just downright abysmal in this. So when you combine terrible graphics, a very badly implemented PlayStation VR support, terrible scripting events of not figuring out what to do or where to go, along with these characters that don't seem to give a rat's ass that they're in the middle of a disaster zone, it just makes this game not fun to play. And at the price tag of $60 for this title, this is not worth the money. Now, I know this is a cult classic style series, and it does have a rather large fan base. In fact, they never planned to release this, but due to fan support wanting them to release it, they decided to come out with this title. And I give them respect for that. But unless you are a die-hard fan of the Disaster Report series, you're not going to like this title. It's a cult classic that stays too true to the original series and doesn't try to evolve in any way, to where in the end, at a price tag of $60, this is just not a fun game to play. The mission structure is terrible, the writing's terrible, the graphics are bad, the characters' animation's bad, the PSVR support's not good, the overall plot is just redundant, it's boring, it's not a fun game to play. This game should be about $19, or maybe I'll give them at least $29. It should be a half price game of at least $30 or less. At the price point that they want, this game is not worth playing at all. And I'm sorry, it's strictly my opinion, but I played the other Disaster Reports games and they seem funner. Of course, that was back in 2011. Games have changed since then. And nowadays, I expect more for my money when paying full price for a title, and this is just not it. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please hit the like button if you liked this video. Please leave a comment if you played any of the Disaster Report games. If you're going to play this one, let me know what you think. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.